for those with good taste.
Welcome back, Tasties and Tastettes, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy Lenny, joined again with my co-host, D-Ray.
Hello.
Dave Ray. And producer extraordinaire is in the building. Dante, D Squarius Jones, D Nice.
Oh no,
D
we're going back to
squared.
the nicknames. No.
Sleazy Deezy.
So whoa.
Downtown D Train.
The Double D Lover.
No.
Well, no, that's...
Whoa, yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, dude, what are you thinking?
I don't know, man. Everything you say is just so.
Oh, well, bleep that.
Jesus.
Killed in the algorithm. I didn't swear this time, though.
I don't think is a swear.
No, it's not a swear, but like you said it in not the way that it's happy. So
I mean, you know, yeah, I use it in a negative
it's
connotation.
like we're in a high school locker room in 2006.
That's what it feels like most of the time recording here. So yeah.
And if you're an adult who wishes they were in a high school locker room in 2006, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe on this video.
We're getting no likes. I hope.
What if this is the most liked episode we've ever had?
Man, I didn't realize we were doing another Dr. Disrespect episode.
Yeah. No, we're talking Chris Tyson this time around.
Oh, God.
That would get us even further down the algorithm. But no, seriously, all jokes aside, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. We need all the help we can get. We're looking for sponsorships. We beg of you. This week on the podcast, we are going to be movie reviewing. R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. That's what we're talking this week, right, guys?
Yeah.
Yep.
All 10 parts.
Dante
I think it's
visits
more
the
than
trap
that,
house.
actually.
Yeah. Yep. And then we're also... I don't know. We have a couple little things, and then I feel like the taste test is going to go for like 3 hours today because we haven't talked in a little bit about all the stuff we've been watching. So,
You know what's funny? I actually don't have a ton.
all right. Well, me and Dave will carry as always. But let's jump into it, shall we, boys? Let's talk about M. Night Shyamalan. The man who leaves you with questions, not answers.
Yeah.
Dude, you know, crazy point, Dante? We've now seen 3 members of the Shyamalan family this year. Or we've been a part of 3 members of their families, like features.
Yeah.
So The Watchers was one daughter. He obviously made Trap. And then, you know, his daughter is also in Trap.
Yeah, I read about that, yeah.
So I was kind of I was like, I don't know, on the fence with seeing the movie. I was definitely intrigued when I first saw the first trailer, and I was just excited to see a Josh Hartnett movie again. And then the morning of me going to see it, I saw another trailer where, dude, I had at no point seen that this was a M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Oh, you didn't know
until
it was?
that day.
I knew it was the
And I got a little bit more excited because it's just like, you know, I don't know. There's a lot of stinkers out there, a lot of misses, but for some reason, like anytime you see one of his stories, like it leaves you wanting to see the movie, but then it leaves you disappointed that you saw it.
Yeah. It's like, I feel like it's like trying a new restaurant more often than not. It's like you're intrigued by the idea of going in, but once you have the meal, you're like, was it really worth it? I don't know. I was gonna also say, like, would we argue that he's had more misses than hits?
Yes.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah.
I don't think it's an argument.
I think that's
fact.
just, yeah.
Like anything, especially for the past like 10 to 15 years, just misses, right?
Yeah, but it's just, there's something about when the trailer drops. I don't know. Maybe like they just got good producers, good trailer makers that pull the right scenes and enough of the story to kind of give you like, hey, this is what this movie is. And every single time I feel like it's like, okay, maybe this one will be different.
I went into this not knowing anything about this movie either. Like, I didn't know it was a Shyamalan movie. I didn't see any trailers on it. I didn't even know what it was about.
All right. I mean, I knew the premise. I knew it was a Shyamalan movie. Like, I knew all of that. And I think he fell in love with his own gimmick. And I think like what happened was he didn't really have anything before Sixth Sense, right? I'm not forgetting anything he had before it.
I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he? Because like The Village and stuff all came out after Sixth Sense.
But I think Sixth Sense was definitely the premiere.
We have a Googling race, guys. We have my 2 Googlers, Googleese. ripping through it.
I mean, that's, I guess, the earliest one. The only one shows before that is a movie called Wide Awake.
Yep, don't know it.
neither.
Yeah, like I think he like it works so well, and then like it's been mixed reviews since The Sixth Sense on, but I think like some people love it, some people hate it. But yeah, I think the big thing is because it's you always want to know what the twist is going to be with him. Even if the movie's bad, you're just curious as to what that twist might be. That there's always like a certain level of interest that his movies are going to garner, and like get a level of success that's I think predictable enough for him to just always make movies. And then he can do something like this that was very much like, you know, I guess since you guys didn't know what the premise was for this movie, maybe other people don't, but essentially the idea is like, and this is all in the trailer, so not really a spoiler to anything. You know, there's a serial killer who has been on the loose, and they know that he's going to be going to a concert, so they set up a sting in a concert, and the idea is that he's trapped in the venue trying to find an escape while the police are trying to close in on the serial killer, but they don't know who it is. They're trying to figure out who it is, like in a baseline description.
And I think I read he got the idea for that concept from like an actual event in the 80s.
Yeah, it was a real sting. It was the thing. So they had all these sex criminals. I don't know if it was the 80s, but they had all these sex criminals basically that they told these people that they had won tickets to the Super Bowl and they had to all show up, right?
Yeah, so it kind of tricked them all into this convention. I don't know what the convention was, but it was basically in the hopes of winning tickets to like what was it, the Browns and Ravens or something like that.
Yeah, Super Bowl. Nobody should have wanted to be that excited to go to.
Right.
Should have seen something coming. They were like, I guess they're just giving away tickets to this one. But yeah, they trapped all these people there at the convention, and that's where he got the idea. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I don't know, kind of circle back to like after seeing the movie, I just kind of did a little research. I wasn't aware that the main singer was his daughter until after the fact.
She performs 14 of her own songs in this, guys. Like that,
Yeah.
like such a promotional vehicle for his daughter's music career.
Right.
Which is that her real name in music?
No.
What's her name in music?
Whatever her actual name is. I think it's like
I don't-
Salika or something like that.
Okay.
I don't know if she has like a stage name. It might just be.
Do you think they should have just had her be her stage name if you're going to promote her that heavily by having her do 14 songs?
I don't know. Maybe she just goes by Lady Raven moving forward.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you guys like the music?
It was
I thought
alright.
it was good. I mean,
It wasn't
I,
bad, yeah.
I don't think there was anything that stood out to me. I don't remember a single
No, but it was
song,
like a
but,
pop vibe. Like I
yeah.
could see like teenage girls like being into
for the
it.
fact that she wrote and produced and basically performed all of the songs for this movie. She basically created an entire album just for this movie. I thought it
Pretty
served
good.
pretty
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that like this is probably mean to say, were her eyes bothering anybody else in this movie?
Only in like the top down shots, like, you know, like when they're like above her head looking down at her.
I had
was a little
to like go on her Instagram to see if she actually looked like that. And she doesn't look the same in like regular pictures as she like in the movie. Her eyes just look like those fake like Instagram filter like doll eyes to me. Like it was like very weird. They were too big.
I think
I think a lot-
Dante's got it down. I think most of the shots you see of close up when like she's being talked to are coming from the perspective of Josh Hartnett's character.
Yeah.
And for the most part, that's like looking down on her, and that's I feel like it's just the camera work that at play there.
I thought I had heard, maybe it was a review or something that I did hear, but I did agree that like I thought his direction was on point in this movie. Like I think there's a lot of flaws in the movie itself. Not saying I didn't enjoy it, but I thought like the sound execution in the movie was like fantastic. Like you felt like you were actually in the concert. I felt like because the audio is really good at like panning to like when you're in certain parts of the arena. The audio is different, like versus when you were in the actual arena itself. When you were backstage, like everything, like I felt like you were in those parts of the arena with them, and you could still hear the music off in the distance. But like like I think he just did a really, really good job of emulating like that.
Yeah, so like that was one of the things I noticed. Like as you're watching the movie, obviously like this concert is like a main focal point of the entire story and everything that's happening. But at no point are you like. There's no like close-up shots really of the performance. Everything is shown through the lens of either what's his character's name? Oh, Cooper.
Okay, I never know these things.
Or Riley. It's basically any shots that you see are from wherever they are in the stadium. That's the stage view that we get. And obviously there's times that they move either closer, that you get a closer view of the stage. I think that was kind of cool. Like everything throughout the entire movie is basically you're wherever Josh Hartnett is, that's where we see everything.
And it really draws you into like his character.
Yeah.
Like, and let's talk about Josh Hartnett, I guess, because like Josh Hartnett's a guy that like in the mid 2000s, I think you would have assumed he was like on a Leo trajectory at points, like an attractive dude, kind of like up and coming actor, a part of a lot of like big features in the early 2000s, and then kind of just like disappears.
I don't know if he just stepped away or something happened or whatever. It was just his life choice. He kind of wanted to stop making some stuff, but I'm definitely here for his revival.
Yeah, I thought he is the brightest part of this whole movie for me personally. Like
Yeah,
I thought his acting was phenomenal. He said he was inspired by actual like movie and music executives for the way he portrayed his character in this movie. Like people that are like will step on anybody to get higher up in their field, and can act like very like friendly and nice, but have like no level of like empathy to like what their actions are, and that's the way he designed like his performance to be.
Yeah, I thought like the dead fake smiles that he gives are like very good.
Yeah.
I thought his performance was fantastic. Basically, knowing from the jump that he was this like sociopathic, like murderer, serial killer.
Yeah.
Just watching his facial expressions, kind of just go up and down in conversations. Like if somebody's looking at him, like the smile comes out, but then the second they turn away, like you see just the eyes change to that killer.
Yeah, like he lets the veil down very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and I think like that's the best like decision that this movie makes, is that like to make it interesting, in all honesty, is the fact that you know from the very beginning like what he is.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you're framing it from the second like the movie starts, and like we'll do spoilers in a second. I don't think this really like jumps too far into anything, because you know they're going to a concert before they get into the venue at the very beginning. Like you're like, he's just a normal dad.
Right.
Like he seems like those moments with him and his daughter are super like genuine and they
real,
do
yeah.
like they make you like, it's almost weird because you're like, I want, like, this guy's a bad person, like he kills people, but you're kind of like wanting to see him at points like outsmart the cops and see if he can like get away with what's going on.
The whole thrill of the movie was like, yeah, this guy's bad, and at no point should you ever feel empathy or root for him. But it's like, I want to see him get out of this. Like, what crazy way can he think of to talk his way, or like, like force an outcome where he like, you know, he is safe and gets out of this.
I don't think that it's I don't think there's like a huge level of tension necessarily to me the whole time. You know, like, I don't think that I was necessarily like, I think that it was fun and he was fantastic. I don't know that I was like ever at like, oh my God, is he going to get caught? Or like, how's he going to, like, maybe there was a couple points towards like the climax of some of it that I was getting to that point. But like throughout the movie, I don't think I was ever truly at that point. So like, I think that knocks it down a little bit for me. But I think that's also just by design, that like when you know that somebody's already the killer to start the movie, you know that there's probably going to be an outcome where, you know, he's either going to get caught or is he going to get away with it? Like, which one is it going to be? And then you're also waiting with a Shyamalan movie to be like, what could be the twist?
Where's the
to
twist?
This?
Yeah.
You're waiting for it. You're watching for it.
And I think this was pretty much his most, like, from a Shyamalan front, like his most straightforward movie. Like, I don't think that there isn't like a crazy thing.
No.
No.
I mean, I feel like
it's not the movie Old or something, you know,
Yeah,
like it's not like anything flips you on your head.
And I feel like a movie like this, like the twist of like this, your main guy is your killer, is immediately given to you, like even in the trailer before you even get to the movie.
So would the movie have been? Do you think the movie's better if you don't know that and you're going through this whole thing thinking that he's just the good guy, and then you find out that he's the killer? Like, if that was the twist that's revealed to you like halfway through this movie, would it have been better?
The way the story gets like.
Because the
unfolds.
whole point of the movie is the perspective of knowing he's playing this whole like cat and mouse game, but like if you don't know he's the one trying to get away, it definitely takes away a lot of the interest in it.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, so before we get into spoilers, recommend, don't recommend? Where are we at?
I'd say, if you got nothing else, go for it. But this is probably one I'd say you're better off just waiting for it to hit streaming.
I mean, I kind of agree. If you're just looking for a night out and you've already seen Wolverine, Deadpool, or maybe just that kind of superhero action isn't your thing, this is a serviceable enough movie to kind of go out and just enjoy yourself. Like you said, Lenny, it's a fun movie as you're kind of watching it.
Mhm.
And it's not something that really takes itself seriously, so it's not something that you kind of have to take seriously as you're watching it.
I think I'm mostly in the same camp as you guys, that I think this is a perfectly acceptable movie to wait for it to be on one of your streaming platforms that you have or whatever, and you'll be fine. Like, nothing you have to rush to the movies. I do think it's interesting. I don't know much of the feedback you guys have seen to this movie. Like, it's been pretty polarizing, and like most of the feedback that I've seen is like, I think this movie's terrible, but I laughed like the whole way through it and like had fun with it. So for like, people are like, I liked it, but it's like incredibly dumb.
I think it falls in that kind of bucket of like a good bad movie.
Yeah, like I don't even know. Like, it's weird because I actually think that makes it a better movie than if I like. Part of me is like kind of just like, I don't think it's really bad, but like in turn, I don't think it's like really
you
really
could tell
good,
like it wasn't like
know?
a super serious movie, but at the same time, if it tried to be, I don't think it would have been good.
Yeah, I think you show up for the premise. If you want to kind of see Shyamalan play along with this premise, and then I think Hartnett puts it over the edge as far as making it a recommend for me. But yeah, I think there's nothing that says make your way to the theater to see this movie.
Right.
Okay, so let's rip spoilers. So 3, 2, 1, spoiler. Where shall we start with this one? It's really a tale of two movies in a way, and it's like what the movie's about, an hour and 40, I think an hour and 45, and I would say for the better part of an hour and 15 minutes of this movie, it's all in the concert venue, and then I feel like it gets a little messy in the last 30 minutes. Yeah, like I think the last 30 minutes kind of takes it off the rails a little bit, and I'm not saying I hated it. It's where you get the twist. Like and we'll get to that. Like what I guess I would say is the twist of the movie. But the part that confuses me that I need you guys to kind of maybe tell me if I'm missing something. So when he gets pinned down in the house, right? So like I really like the scene actually of her. Like one of the most tense scenes in the movie is her going into the home, like her kind of taking it upon herself to be like, I can't let this guy get away. And then she steals the phone from him and goes into the bathroom. I think that scene's probably got the most tension in the movie for me. Of him, like, you don't know what he's doing to the family outside the door. He's like screaming outside of the door at her, can't get into the room. She, like, very realistically, if you were going to use anything, like she uses her platform as a megastar to identify where this person he's had trapped is the whole time. Yep. Like, I think that all works really well. The two things that don't make a lot of sense to me in that scene, though. For one, she tells the butler to call, or the driver to call the cops,
but doesn't tell him what's going on.
Or the driver doesn't, like, isn't your job to like kind of be there for this girl and like protect her? And like he's nowhere to be found when they open up the garage door. He's not there with the family. Like none of that. It's weird.
So that was one of the parts where it's like,
I mean, he's a driver, not a bodyguard.
But you would have been at the fucking garage door with the family. Like,
yeah, so that's kind of part of the problem too, is where like you need this movie basically asks you to suspend your disbelief in the fact that like this is a like Taylor Swift level like pop star in this world,
which has no security,
drives away from her concert with 2 fans, a driver, and no security.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
The other part of that scene that doesn't make a lot of sense to me is how he gets away. How did he get the SWAT uniform?
He took out one of the guys.
Did we see that happen?
No.
So that's like, but where would he have taken out one of the guys? Like, I don't understand where, like, he had I understand the tunnel. Like, he had an escape route in the house. Granted, the other weird part about that is that he said he never looked at his house in that
but had that tunnel.
Yeah, that was kind of contradictory. That he had an escape plan laid out, but never viewed his home in a way that people would escape from it, was weird. And then he had the police uniform just equipped and ready to go. I thought both of those things were like hard for me to be like, I was like, how did he like pull that off? So then I'm like that's where I was a little bit like, well, this is kind of dumb. Like he's just that they're finding ways to like.
He didn't
extend
have the police
the
uniform.
movie.
He definitely took it from one of them.
I
'Cause
get
think
that,
they
but
said
then
at one
show
point,
it.
like there was a guy down.
I'm a
or
little
something
bit
like that.
less like concerned with that scene about getting that because I feel like it just you can kind of explain that off camera.
The limo.
It's then
The limo was
them
the tougher
getting
one to grasp.
surrounded by the fans,
And him getting out.
getting out of the vehicle, getting into street clothes, and
Nobody said anything.
nobody says a thing like, "Hey, this guy standing right here got out of the car as the police are surrounding it." Like, "Hey, look at this guy."
Yeah, there was there's like that's where that whole third act is like messy, right? Like just you have to suspend such a disbelief when they're in the concert venue. I think everything's played out fairly realistically. Granted, I think that like when he's on the roof, they would have questioned a bit more.
Yeah.
Like this guy being up on the roof, I think is like hey, like red flags, like what the fuck, you know? But he plays it off fairly well. Even the fact that he's able to like walk through the room of cops,
Yeah.
and nobody like questions it, like he gets them coffee and stuff like that. Like there's definitely a lot of those moments where you just have to kind of think, like let it go. And I think that that's why the people are like, this movie's fucking kind of dumb. Is that he doesn't go out of his way to explain these kind of plot holes or like flaws that there might be in the way. You're just like you said, I think like Dante, like you almost have to just accept it. And like I don't necessarily know that I want to just accept that something happens off screen that would have taken him 2 seconds to show him sneak up on a cop that was near that other house, watching the backyard or something, and fucking choke him out and take his uniform.
Well, I think that was played for the sense of
shock value.
Lady Raven is driving away. She thinks she's got away.
Yeah.
We think she's got away. And then
Well,
lo
how
and
easy
behold-
again, this driver. How easy it's just like, I've got this. I'm going to get her out of the area. And he doesn't say like, well, I can fucking drive her. Like, I'm her driver.
And also, we don't think she's got away. Like, you knew right away.
Yeah, but
Well,
that's
sure.
but that's kind of like that goes back to your thing too, Dave. Like, even if the security doesn't come with them, she doesn't have people, like multiple people that are like looking out for her at this point, you know. It's so much easier in spoilers to just hit a bunch of negative shit, but like those were definitely the things that that bothered me. As far as the twist. So if I'm not wrong, the big twist here is that the way that this sting operation gets set up is the wife, right? Like that's essentially the twist.
That's the closest you get to a twist. It's definitely not a Shyamalan level twist, but it is the twist.
It's definitely not a Shyamalan level twist. And I thought as we got to that scene where the profiler lady is like, "Hey, we can set you up with your family, blah, blah, blah." And the wife's like, "No, I want to stay here." And she kind of goes, that lady leaves and she's just there making her tea. I was dead set in my brain, like, all right, Josh Hartnett Cooper's going to show up and we're going to find out that the wife was in on the killings this whole time as well. And I was like, that would be a pretty good twist. Like, she's also evil as all like hell.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was just
Yeah, well, and I think either way kind of works, because I think one way or another, at least they didn't like have it be that she didn't notice that there were signs of things, like because she had to have looked really fucking stupid at the end of all of this to have not seen signs of her husband. And it makes perfect sense that in her head initially it was like infidelity. Like, what has he been up to? And I followed him and like found out like it's just he's going to a fucking empty house and like sitting around. So then I got curious about what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that like they gave him the backdrop of being a firefighter to explain why he knew about all these empty homes, and that's why he was able to use them, because they explained like houses don't pass fire code and they end up just sitting abandoned. Like, I like that they at least gave an explanation as to how this man has access to like 5 different houses that are empty.
Yeah, but as a firefighter, you can't break down a door.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just gonna knock on this door very loudly.
Yeah. I don't know why he chose to be so polite in that moment.
Yeah,
It's his house.
Yeah, he didn't want to damage it. Still thought he could get away with it and not have to clean anything.
So I also kind of just want to like question just the whole, when Lady Raven decides she wants to just kind of get out of the car, drive to this guy's house and hop in. Like, I mean, I guess in the vein of trying to figure out where the kidnapped kid Spencer is, and obviously she gets to that point. But I would feel like sitting in her shoes, like, all right, you know what? Like, hey, let me drop you off at your house. I know where you live now. I'm gonna drive away, and like at no point, like, are you safe in this situation as the killer? Like you're not gonna kill me in front of your daughter. Like you're gonna need to run away, essentially. Like I'm gonna call the cops as soon as we drive
Yeah,
away.
I think the thing was she still didn't know where the kid was, and that the idea that he's just gonna, if she gets out of the vehicle and leaves, he's just gonna go right to wherever that house is and kill this dude before he makes his like getaway potentially or anything. Like I think that that's where it's like she knew that this person needed her help and didn't want to like sacrifice his life essentially. My question is, in real life, do you think any megastar goes to this length to save somebody else's life?
No.
I want to
Some
think
of them
people,
are real people.
Well, I was gonna say, like, I want to think that people are like have like this nature inside of them to like be that dedicated. But she was so dedicated to the cause of catching this guy. Like, she openly is like, "Yeah, we booked a whole fucking show to catch you." Like, you know, I wasn't gonna do a second night. They asked me to.
Yeah, I'd say like if it was flipped to like, you see how the way they portrayed Kid Cudi's character, like if it was him in that situation, he would just been like, "Ah, yeah, peace, dude."
Wait, what Kid Cudi thing?
Kid Cudi was in there. He was one of the characters.
Was he the?
He was the one with the like blonde wig.
That was Kid Cudi.
That was Kid Cudi?
Yeah.
We're positive on that. Like, you know that to be a fact.
Yeah.
Okay, that's news. I didn't know that was Kid Cudi.
I didn't catch
And
that
like
at all.
the other appearance when the dude comes up through the ground, remember, and he was thinking about going underground to try and sneak
Yeah.
backstage.
Was
the
that
dude
Bad
that comes
Bunny?
up? That's Russ.
Okay, it was bad.
I don't know who Russ is.
I don't know who that is. Can you pull up a picture of Russ? Can you tell us something about Russ? What does Russ do?
He's
Quarterback for the Pittsburgh
he's
Steelers.
Yeah,
a musician.
Big Russ.
yeah. He was a star on the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah, this is Russ.
What kind of songs is Russ? Do we know? Can you sing a Russ song to us?
He does a lot of like rap and R&B.
Right.
I'm not. gonna
What's a
sing
Russ
any of
song
his
that we
songs.
would know? Can you just sing it for us, please?
No, I can't.
Well, we would get DMAC'd if you played it, so I need you to sing it.
I'm not doing that.
You're such a pussy, dude. All right, well, news to me. I didn't know that was Kid Cudi who was giving Josh Hartnett the fuck me eyes, dude.
Right?
Josh Hartnett was kind of into it. I don't know if you guys caught that. He was like, "All right, buddy. Like, I haven't been looked at like this in years." Like, I respected it. He was like, I'm not gonna do it, but like, at least it's good to know I'm wanted still.
Ugh.
And he would kill that guy if he had the chance.
Oh,
And that guy had it coming to him. I actually like now, and I didn't know it was Kid Cudi, but I actually thought like that character made a lot of sense in the sense of like how like a Hollywood megastar at that size like acts, and like
just
it was
diva.
yeah, and it was a good like contrast to like this girl who's like playing this like very nice like normal person to then be mentored by this guy who's like just the worst form of Hollywood star. You know?
Yeah.
So Dave, off camera, Dante just informed me that I've seen Kid Cudi's dick.
What?
Yeah. News to me too, buddy. I've seen Kid Cudi's dick. It's big.
Okay.
We watched that movie X. And apparently, because I was like, "Has Kid Cudi done any other movies?" He's like, "Yeah, dude. We just saw him like a few months ago. He was in the movie X."
Oh, that's like the Maxine movie?
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
original, the first in the Maxine trilogy. And oh, you didn't use the Maxine franchise as your horror movie last week, Dante.
I don't know if that would have been a strong pick. That's why I left it up.
I mean, it's probably better than some of the stuff you might have picked. I don't know. I'll know if that Final Destination ended up probably being better.
Yeah.
Either way, getting off point. Kid Cudi is the main guy in that movie who's fucking bitches.
He
And
just drops trout.
Oh, his dick's just
he's like
all
one of the
out,
porno
dude.
guys?
Yeah.
Okay.
dick's all over the place. He's swinging dick left and right in that movie. He poking eyes out.
God.
And I'm impressed. I'm impressed, dude.
I mean, that's why I guess he had a lot of confidence with that, like, silver wig walking.
Yeah, I didn't see the imprint. I guess I wasn't looking hard enough.
Oh,
But yeah,
God.
that's news for everybody. Kid Cudi has done this movie, and he was a porn star. So a lot of range on him.
He's probably done others.
Want to double check? Have we seen his dick in anything else?
I'm not gonna Google Kid
What
Cudi's
other
dick
rappers' dicks
appearances.
have you seen?
Well, we just said me and Dante talked about Drake.
You've seen Drake's dick?
Yeah, who hasn't? It was the biggest thing on the internet this year. Literally.
I don't know. I'm one of those guys that I just see Drake's name and
Yeah, he had that thing where
on.
like he basically promotionally leaked a picture of his own dick like sitting on the couch soft. Because nobody else would have put it out except for him.
Holy shit, I forgot. He was also in Need for Speed.
He's one of the racers.
He was the pilot, the plane dude.
Sure, okay. Doesn't help.
I don't know. I guess back to this like soft couch.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, the couch,
Was this-
I don't know how the couch was. I know he was soft on the couch.
was this like just to kind of move the story away from the
This
whole?
was pre, hey, Drake, I heard you like him young.
Oh,
This was pre that.
see, I mean, there's a reason I just don't like this guy, and like this guy.
I mean,
just
I
adds
don't
on
judge
to it.
a person by the size of his cock. Like, if anything,
No.
I probably give them points. Is that gay? I don't know. I don't know.
Probably a
Like,
little
I don't know.
bit.
Just the idea that like obviously like if he's the one to just take and release that picture.
That's not confirmed, but like Dante, you've seen the picture, right?
Weird.
No, I haven't.
Oh, come on, dude. What are we doing
Weird.
here, man? You don't know about the picture and haven't seen the picture.
I know about the picture because you told me about the
Dante,
picture. I didn't get
pull
curious.
pull up the picture and look.
I'm not
No,
going to pull it
please
up right
do
now.
not.
Please pull up the picture and look. Dante,
want to.
for the sake of the podcast, I need you to react to Drake's penis.
I hate that I'm typing this in. Why am I falling for this? I really don't want to.
It's his computer.
I put it in incognito. I don't even know what's coming up.
I see a dude holding a flaccid hot dog.
This? Yeah?
Yep.
All right.
Yep,
Oh
There you
my
go.
god.
That's it. dude.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right, cool. Jesus Christ.
Ah.
I mean, he clearly obviously took the picture.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I mean. I also was wrong. He wasn't soft. I think it was hard as a rock.
That was just a bait and switch. Like, you knew he wasn't soft.
It's been a while since I've seen it, to be fair to me.
Oh, man was at attention, yeah.
Oh, yo, what are we doing? Yo, we're talking about a fucking movie here?
Well, we just got trapped in this room.
Oh, God.
All right. How do we get
I
back
feel
on track, dude? How do we get back on track? You actually asked me about other celebrities,
I suppose.
rappers' dicks we've seen. There's probably others. That's just the first one that comes to mind.
I think
Yeah,
there was
any
an
others?
episode where you were talking about Adesanya's dick print, too.
Adesanya's.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is either.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. Yeah, he has. Yeah, he had a good one.
No.
Well, while we're on the topic, the Olympics thing, Dante. Dave, you've seen it, right?
The French dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, lost the gold medal because his dick was too big.
Yeah.
That's a win. That guy's
he's a
came up
national
this week.
hero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That dude's pulling.
Yeah, that dude won a gold medal for France because they're like, we're all like this. It's something in the water.
It's in the cheese.
It's all the baguettes.
You came for the Trapped review, but you stuck around for
For the dick
for
review.
us talking about dicks. For 5 minutes. Oh man, I don't even. We've lost the plot so badly on Be Trapped. I don't know what we were talking about anymore. I have no idea. Yeah, the twist. I guess like was that where we were at before?
I think we left off on like, why would a major pop star be this invested in trying to catch a serial killer?
Yep, that made sense why we got to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that that's very realistic in any way. I think that they would have found a way. Yeah, I just think he don't think he would have gotten out that way, but that's fine. Like the fact that I like the expose on like the woman who was like the profiler kind of explaining how he ended up to be the way that he was. I did think like the visions of his mom were kind of like weird throughout the movie, but I did like when the pop star Lady Raven like flips it on him and just goes full dominatrix and starts like
Trying
talking
to,
dirty
like,
to
yeah.
him,
See,
like, telling him what to do.
I thought the visions of the mother thing were like kind of just fitting to the idea and the profile of somebody like psychotic and sociopathic like him. I disagree. I thought that was incredibly cringe and like at no point like
I know what type of videos you're not into, Dave.
dude. So leading into that scene when he's like, "Yeah, we're gonna leave," and he's like, "At no point does my hand leave your shoulder," and like I was like, "Oh shit!" I was like, "That's kind of powerful." Like, hey, I like how you're kind of relaxed. We're moving through this, And then when he got to open in the car, he's like, I feel that. Don't you dare make an attempt. Like, I can feel it. Like, I was like, shh, like that. It was a really powerful moment. Like, hey, I'm in control. This is my situation. You're following me. And then we get into the car. Like, this girl is going to be freaked the hell out. Like I don't even know how you could like formulate thoughts in that situation. Like, I'm in this car. I'm about to get fucking chopped to pieces. To have the strength to, hey, I'm going to cosplay your mom right now. Like,
I think the flip to that though is she's come to grips a little bit with like the idea she chose to be in this situation. Like, she never had to be in this house. Arguably, she probably was more scared when she was in the bathroom at some points. Like, I just think she might have already become desensitized to some of the fear, and now it's like, I have one way to get out of this, because if he pulls out of this driveway with me, like, I'm gonna probably be dead, right? Like, so let me just try this to see if it gets me out of it. And it doesn't work. It works for like half a second. I like the attempt, but I also think it makes him look better that he saw through it very quickly. And he was like, oh, you talk to a profiler basically, and you think that you can like figure me out like that? No, it ain't happening. Like, we're not going for that. The last thing I want to talk about is the end. So he finally gets caught. These cops are so fucking stupid. Like, why are they letting him fix a bicycle?
yeah. So I mean, well,
How do they not see him?
It takes some type of force to break a spoke off a bike, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Like, how do they not see or hear that happen?
I mean, so just leading into that scene, he's drugged
Yep.
by the wife.
Choke slams a motherfucker. I
He's
forgot about
clearly like just like almost incapacitated, like about to pass out, and then you get hit by two tasers, stun guns, or whatever. You feel the energy come back to you somehow, and like you're able to basically rip a dude's eye, gouge a guy's eyes
choke
out.
slams him and then gouges the eyes.
Yeah,
And
like,
then eats 3 more fucking tasers.
yeah.
Right?
That's-
Yeah.
But no, the whole like,
I'm
hey,
glad we got to see some violence in this.
hey, this
Yeah.
guy's got OCD, so let's let him stand this bike up and fix it. Like, that's crazy. Like,
Yeah.
He's a serial killer. You don't let him do anything.
Yeah, and like, yeah, and then they just put him into the back of the truck. And like, so what does he do once he gets the handcuff? Because the movie just ends with him taking the handcuffs off. I didn't stick around. There was a post credit, but I left before.
Oh,
The
dude,
post credit was actually
The
pretty
post
funny.
credit was the best part of the fucking
Yeah,
movie.
what happened?
Yeah, it was the vendor.
It was the vendor guy
Oh, okay.
sitting on his couch watching a news story, and it's like, hey, here's the identity of the butcher, and he's like, oh man, he's like, that's Coop. Like, oh shit, I helped him. And he's like, I ain't talking to nobody. And like, it was the only time that like I had an audible laugh, like, holy shit, that was funny. And then the dude behind me, as soon as he was just like, I ain't talking to nobody, he was like, yep.
Yeah, I walked out as the post credit was starting, and I was just like already like past the point of like, I'm gonna stop and go back for this. So
It was the best part. Of the
I just
movie.
kept going because like, so what does he do after he gets out of the handcuffs? Because he's still in the back of that truck. Like,
We don't know.
I'm
like,
sure-
but
sure
I'm
he
saying
just
like
gets out.
hypothetically, does he like stab them with that thing when they open the door? Like, how is he gonna make his?
I expect like an open the door, tuck and roll while it's driving, and try and run off type shit.
But you have to be able to open the thing while he's driving, and I don't think you can open those doors from the inside, Dante. For that reason, like when you're in the back of a cop car, you can't open.
I also think a bike spoke is too big to actually Jimmy handcuff locks, but
fair enough. Yeah. Has this movie made enough to get a Trapped 2?
no,
No,
it has
Okay.
not.
I saw it made $6 million on opening night.
Yeah, but look at the budget.
I mean,
30.
other than like Unbreakable, like this just the M. Night Shyamalan doesn't make movies for sequels.
He just left this so open-ended that it makes me think that like you wanted to leave the option of this character having something.
Yeah,
They
but
trap
so,
him again,
like,
trap 2.
Yeah, that's
what I mean.
so
Yeah,
that's the
like,
thing,
he's got back out. He found a way to escape. Like, they started him escaping, and he just starts killing people again somewhere else. He starts a new identity and just starts killing somebody, like people somewhere else in the country.
Well,
like, yeah, he's just he takes his new family to like a football game. You know?
That'd be very funny. Yeah. Well, how much did it make?
It's at 20 mil worldwide so far, with a 6.6 million opening weekend.
Oh, so it's on pace for Inside Out too.
I did read no, actually that's a different movie. Never mind. Yeah, I mean that's not too bad. 20 mil worldwide for week 1.
Yeah.
On a $30 million budget. You have to figure it has about 3-week run. It's not gonna it's gonna break even at best.
I think this is gonna die out pretty badly come next week though.
Yeah, because going up against Alien being like a horror competition to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough time to come out with movies. Like I talked about this with you, Dave, yesterday. I had read that Twisters exceeded its opening week expectation, and then it didn't even. It's going to potentially not even break even.
What was the budget on Twisters?
I don't know, but like the thing with budgets, and I've talked about this before. The way you have to look at budgets, whatever the budget is, so 155 is the budget. About double that, or about half double that. So like so say 250 million or 220 million after promotional stuff goes into that movie is what it needs to make to break even. And how much has it done?
274.
So it's basically just broken even. In week 1, it made how much?
Opening weekend was 81 mil.
So it I think Deadpool just kind of killed its like momentum significantly. But yeah, and like I think Twisters still probably did good enough that you're gonna get a sequel, and they're smarter about the way that they release said sequel. Like you just don't release it up against a fucking monster coming out a week later.
I found out it was an option that we could have watched Twisters in 4D.
Yeah, they're re-releasing it in 4D actually.
Yeah.
It would intrigue me. I've never had any interest in a 4D movie.
I've only
But
seen
this
one.
kind of seems like something I would want to see in 4D.
Yeah, it would fuck me up, dude. Like I'd probably be motion sick within like 30 minutes of that.
Well,
movie.
I don't think the
It's
chairs
not as
actually
intense
move,
as
right?
I've seen
It's just wind and water.
No, I've seen ones with the chairs moving.
Oh shit.
Well, the only one I
Can
think
you look up
around
fair
us
4D to see if the chairs move? Can it
is
will tell
random.
you?
They shake.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not like you're sitting in a roller coaster.
I've seen one like with the mom ride situation before.
I don't think we have anything that serious around us.
Like that's fucking crazy. The mom, like, I did a fake mom ride thing. Is mom ride only local to us? Like, would people anywhere else know about this? Because we do. In where do I have the biggest fan base for wrestling podcast? Nicaragua. Yeah, dude, they probably don't have a mom ride there. So people who don't know, Motion Odyssey movie, is that what it's called? What it stands for?
Sounds right.
It's basically you like in a Jurassic Park themed ride, and like the chairs move and like water gets spit at you and stuff like that. There was also a police chase ride like version. They would play 2 every time you went to Jordan's Furniture. Motion effects theater. Yeah, so there is ones that have moving chairs, right?
Yeah. That's sick.
Does it say where those are?
Showcase.
But like, can you find like specific theaters that have that feature? That because I think you're right that the Randolph one is just water hitting you and wind.
Yeah.
It
smells.
It smells.
Yeah.
It does smells too.
Yeah.
So I think I've only ever seen one movie there doing that, and it was the 3rd Star Trek movie. And the only thing I remember is like there's one scene where the elevator door just opens up, and it's a shot of just like holding a coffee cup, and then they just kind of sprayed you with that coffee smell. That's the only thing I remember from the entire experience.
Was it a good smell?
It was coffee.
Because I remember somebody told me about one where there was like a shit scene or something like that. I'm like,
nope.
They hit that smell.
Nope. No, thank you.
It didn't. Does it show which ones have the motion?
It's not showing me now.
It just says that they have the 4D theaters, right?
Yeah, so it's showing me that Randolph has 4D, but it's not showing if it's like 4DX, which is the one that has like the moving seats.
Does Hanover have it as well? I saw that at the top.
It's a deluxe. Oh, will it tell me? I don't know.
Because I still want to go. Like, even though I don't have a showcase thing, like I want to check out the Hanover theater.
Yeah. Did they like recently redo that or something?
They just built it. It's brand new.
Oh shit!
In the past like year and a half.
Nice.
Huh.
Before we completely get off the topic of trap, like a couple other questions for you guys. How do you feel about the acting and the dialogue out of like essentially like everybody other than Josh Hartnett throughout the movie?
I thought the daughter was fine. Like I didn't think she was bad. Like for like a kid actress, I thought she did pretty well. I thought that the mom was pretty bad.
It was weird.
Yeah,
Oh, wait,
like-
oh no, like her mom.
No,
Allison,
I'm talking about
Allison
the one.
Pill
I'm talking about the one in
the concert.
the concert. Mom.
That was one of the
It
strangest.
just didn't make that storyline didn't make a ton of sense to me.
The first
but-
one, fine, but then the second time when she gets all mad and pissed off when he's just like, "I want to get back to my daughter. We're in the middle of a concert. Like, we'll figure
Yeah.
this out later," and she loses her mind.
Yeah, yeah. I
Like,
thought
it was
that whole
just-
thing was
it
like
very
cringe.
weird.
Yeah, kind of weird.
I agree. I think the daughter is like the most grounded person throughout the entire movie, as her dad is like freaking out, like trying to figure out like how to get out of the trap.
Yeah.
Like she sees this and there's like open dialogue, like, dude, you're acting weird. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Why do you keep disappearing? Why are you talking about the weirdest things right now? It's like,
Why are you trying to like escape through this fucking hole in the floor?
Right.
Yeah.
and then that was another thing. Like, as you're watching the movie, like knowing it's an M. Night Shyamalan, were you watching things or watching the movie any differently, trying to figure out like possible twists?
Yeah, like you're waiting for like that's that condition to it, and like I actually like that you never get one that's to that level, because like
Right.
I think it helps him for future movies. That hey, like, are we gonna get more straightforward storytelling from him going forward, or maybe the next twist is more impactful because he didn't do one
Right.
this time?
Because I think like he definitely dropped a lot of just red herrings throughout the movie, where it's like you think like, hey, this is where this is gonna go, like with the tunnel underneath the aisle right next to
Mhm.
him. Like, it's a very clear shot where it's just like, I'm gonna go make my attempt for this, and then it kind of disappears. And then I was like, maybe it was just the way I was watching the movie. I was like, I wanted to find it and figure it out, and like what scenes are happening throughout the movie where they feel a little bit out of place, but it's a clue for later.
Yeah.
Like, there was a stupid scene where I just had in my head the entire movie where right as the concert's about to start, they're sitting in their chairs, like eating the soft pretzel.
Mm-hmm.
And
throws
the concert starts, and it makes a very clear shot to look at the cup on the ground that he's
throws
throwing
the trash
things into.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, cool. Keep that in my head. Meant nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I thought that shot was weird too. That one stood out to me. I liked when he went to pull. He was getting ready to pull the fire alarm, and he has the headset in, and she's just like, he's gonna do something to cause a commotion, like pull a fire alarm, and
yeah.
he's just like,
in a hallway full of
fuck.
people, like
Yeah.
it's a close-up shot on him, so it's like, all right, he's gonna do it. When you have tens of people walking by, like if I see somebody with their hand out and their fingers like about
Yeah.
to pull the fire alarm, I'm like, dude, what are you doing?
yeah, this is
like,
in high school, dude. Like, I'm not, like, you can't just like do this to get us out of class for a little bit. Like, I'm trying to watch this concert. How about you don't, buddy?
and that's another weird thing, when as he's walking in, like in between the, like when he dips out to kind of on his own and leaves Riley in the seat while the concerts were going.
Mhm.
Way too many people walking around in the concourse and
The whole
doing
time,
things.
yeah.
Like, no one's going to be out in those hallways while the show is on.
Yeah, like, well, the main actor, the main artist that
Yeah.
everybody's been waiting for. Yeah, even like the fact that they don't show you him do it, but when he goes behind the concessions and just burns a girl.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they didn't want to show that because it would have made so many people look stupid that he was just able to walk behind
Mm-hmm.
and drop fucking like what oil into the, like, nobody would
Yeah.
have seen that.
No.
Yeah. Again, like little things that they're just like, we need you to just not have any real belief, like suspend all belief to this, you know. All right, let's rate it and rank it. I think me and Dante are basically hand in hand on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have it at 2.5 stars. Like I said, good bad movie, kind of fell in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And I put it at 29th, just ahead of Monkey Man and Abigail.
All right, so I am higher. I actually gave it, funny enough. Actually, we're probably similar in numbers, but I, funny enough, gave it 3 stars for the mere fact that, like, I think Josh Hartnett his performance pushes it over the edge for me. So I think as a movie, it's very much middle of the road. Like, you probably will like it for the wrong reasons, but you won't hate it for any of those reasons, you know?
Yeah.
But I thought his performance is so strong in the role that I bumped it ahead of some other movies that I had at 3 stars. Like, I think this is better than Maxine, personally. So, like, I had it in front of that. So with that being said, like, I have it at 28th on my list at 3 stars.
Okay.
I'm obviously significantly less movies than you guys so far this year. So I've seen a grand total of 14, and I right now have this at 13 out of 14. That being said, 14 right now is Madam Web, and it is the only movie that I would say on this list that I would not recommend. So 1 through 13 are still movies where I think are pretty much good enough, but there's really just a very steep drop between this and that next one.
I get that. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that like where your list is more condensed, it's hard to put this in front of, like, I'm sure all the movies on that list are movies I have also in front of it on mine, you know? Maybe a give or take something, but yeah, so I think we're all pretty much in synchronicity. Is that a word?
Nailed it.
Cool.
Crushed it.
On this one. Let us know what you guys think out there, please. Drop it in the comments down below. I wanted to ask you guys something. Do you think that you could, and probably more something for Dave, but I think as a team, maybe I'll have you guys work on this. Could you guys name the 10 highest grossing movies of all time?
No.
It's not that difficult, really. You've seen all of them.
It's
Avengers is probably one of them, right?
both Avengers, Infinity War, and Endgame.
Yeah.
Yep. So Infinity War and Endgame are both on there. I won't make you tell me where they are on the list.
I mean, at this point, Inside Out 2.
Yeah, it is. That's at number 10. So that's like that. Keep that in mind. That Inside Out 2 is at number 10 on the list of 10 highest grossing.
So no other animated movies.
No other animated movies.
Yeah, because that's gonna be the highest grossing animated at this point.
Dune?
No.
No.
Nothing. The Inside Out 2 is the most recent on this list.
Would Titanic still be there?
Yes, it's number 4.
Holy shit.
So Endgame is 2. We said Titanic, that's 4. Infinity War is at 6. Inside Out 2 is at 10.
Would any of the Dark Knights be there?
No.
Oh. Yes. I mean, is it?
There's got to be other.
It's
Marvel
very.
releases
It's
on
very
there.
heavy.
Number 1 is pretty obvious.
Is it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I mean, the highest grossing movie of all time does feel like it could be obvious.
Huh.
Yeah. It's like,
Probably should be, but
and I'll give you guys a clue. There's a sequel, and it's also on this list.
oh, okay.
Avatar.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Avatar
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
is the highest grossing movie of all time. That's at number 1, meaning
Way of Water.
Way of Water is at number 3.
That's
Damn.
3 James Cameron movies.
Yep.
Hmm.
3 of the top 4 movies of all time are James Cameron movies.
Insane.
wild.
Yeah. Dave, another one is pretty obvious on here for you specifically. And Dante, I think one of these on here, I don't think you'll guess it, but I think for you it should be kind of obvious.
Fast and Furious.
No. But Dave, come on. There's something out there you haven't named yet.
I mean, and more superhero movies there. Spider-Man's.
So there is a superhero movie on there. That's not the type of movie I'm talking about for you. But you're on track with that guess. Which one? Which Spider-Man?
No Way Home.
Yeah. No Way Home is number 7.
One specifically for me.
Number 5 on the list all time.
I don't know. With no prep work, man, my brain is just empty.
So you guys don't have 5, 8, or 9. I don't think there's a way you guess 8. 9 would be tough, but I think there's a company that makes a lot of really big movies, and they own the rights to 2 of these that you haven't named yet. One is a franchise that Dave, I'm surprised, hasn't thought of yet.
Star Wars.
Thank you, Dante.
Yeah.
Which one, Dave?
Not even in my head. I mean, it's probably going to be the first Force Awakens.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's at number 5. And then the other Disney movie.
Disney movie. It's got to be live action.
Yeah. Recently made live action.
No, it's not The Lion King, is it?
It is.
Ugh.
That's what I was saying, Dante. Like
Gross.
that. Like
That made money. Ugh.
Yeah, dude, it made $1.66 billion.
Ugh.
That
That
that's
many people
disappointing.
had to get
That's
upset.
a movie that just zero interest. Didn't even want to hear about it.
It's not good. I hated it, but it made that much money.
I've
That's
seen
annoying.
one of the live action like remakes
Mm-hmm.
because none of them have looked good. The only one I saw was Mulan, and I was upset after watching it.
Yeah, that's one I haven't watched actually.
Really?
I didn't mind.
I think
Aladdin.
Mulan would have been all right if they didn't call it Mulan. Aladdin was pretty good. Yeah.
Mulan.
Dude,
I'm not gonna.
the Beauty and the Beast one I think was decent too.
I don't even consider that one in there. And honestly, like I like Emma Watson. But like did you like the like Beauty and the Beast animated?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if that like hit for me that much when I was a kid. Like that's not one that stands out as my favorite like Disney.
No, that one definitely hit.
Yeah, it was good. Gaston.
So there is still one more, but like I said, I don't know that I think that you guys will guess it.
Hustle and Flow.
That would have been great. It is a major franchise. Like it's one of the biggest franchises of all time, obviously, if it's on this list. It was in our list from last week.
Deathly Hallows.
No, not a Harry Potter, surprisingly.
Horror.
No horror would make this, but
Horror
Yeah.
wouldn't make that much money.
Mission Impossible.
no. You forgot about it on the franchise list last week too.
I forgot about it.
Both of you did.
Huh.
What-
I was the only one who remembered it.
What did you take?
I took it
didn't
really late,
He took it. Huh.
maybe 10th round.
I don't even remember the list.
I literally just rewatched the episode before coming here.
Might have been my 10th round pick, boys.
Shit.
And you guys were like, "Holy shit!" It wasn't even on my list.
It's not on my mind right now. at
What
all.
genre was it?
It's fantasy, sci-fi. It's what we classified it under. It could fall in action.
Oh, and I said like it wasn't sci-fi. Oh, wait, no.
No, this
No,
one
you're
didn't get
thinking
an
of
argument.
Avengers.
Yeah, this didn't get an argument. I wonder if anybody out there has guessed.
You
it
took
yet.
Die Hard?
That was my 9th pick.
That's also not fantasy.
I know, but I thought you were going to take John Wick and you took Die Hard.
There's 6 movies in this franchise. The 4th movie in the franchise is the one that made the highest grossing of all time. It started in the early 90s. Samuel L. Jackson was included in one of them.
Twilight?
He wasn't in a Twilight movie. He would have been great in a Twilight movie.
I mean, you're still talking about Die Hard.
No, I'm not. He was in this franchise.
I mean, you're still talking about Die Hard, though.
but that's not a fantasy or sci-fi movie.
Terminator?
Was he
No,
in
I took
Terminator?
Terminator. Fuck.
Samuel L. Jackson is sci-fi. That's not Star Wars.
No. He was in the first movie of the franchise.
Black Snake Moan?
Didn't get enough sequels.
Snakes on a
It's a
Plane?
damn shame.
Snakes on a plane.
What was that
Featured a
motherfucking shark ate me?
character. I don't know his real life name, but he was in Seinfeld. Newman.
Jurassic Park.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So Jurassic World
Park.
is number 8 all time. 1.67 billion.
Huh.
Now, with that being said, I had one follow-up to you guys. So there is, I believe, 10 movies that have opened with over $200 million sold domestically all time. How many of those movies were on that list?
Like you're saying opening weekend?
Yep. In the United States.
None.
That's completely false.
Damn.
I don't
2.
know. I'm just going to go hit the middle 5.
Close. 6. So 6 made the list. So 6 movies of the 10 opened over at $200 million domestically. Avengers. So actually, this is Avengers 1. So actually, only 5. You're right. So 5. Sorry. So Avengers, Jurassic World. Well, in this instance, based on that list, Jurassic World, Force Awakens, Infinity War, Endgame, Spider-Man: No Way Home. Can you think of what the other movies would have been?
Please don't do this to me.
I mean, so neither of the avatars hit over 200 in the first?
No.
Yeah.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
So I just gave you one, actually. Avengers 1 opened at $2 million, over $200 million domestically. So that's 5 of them. One just might have very recently came out.
Wait, what do you?
Dune?
What's the question?
No, Dune didn't open over 200.
So it's every movie that's opened at over $200 million domestically.
Oh, okay, and only 5 of them were on the list that we just said. So
Yeah.
you're giving me a completely different list with
Yeah, I was
additional
just
movies.
like, yeah, basically there's some other movies.
Inside Out.
No,
No,
nope. Even more recent than that.
More reason.
Twisters.
No, more recently than that.
Trap.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Thank you. Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine
Oh, well,
opened
yeah,
over.
because that was a pre-sale fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, Deadpool and Wolverine opened over 200 million. So a couple other ones. So you have one other Marvel movie on here, and then you have one other from a franchise you might know, Dave.
Is that a Star Wars thing again? Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Probably
Iron Man.
Phantom Menace.
No,
Oh.
no, and no.
Because
Okay.
usually it would be just like hey, this is our first thing in a long time. Like everyone goes to it.
No,
which is why
it's
Force Awakens
one
was
that you
big.
won't be happy with.
Oh, Last
Oh.
Jedi.
Yeah.
That's the worst fucking
Yeah.
Star Wars movie of all
Yeah.
time.
And then the other one is pretty obvious, but I don't think you'll guess it. Marvel. Give you a second.
Ragnarok.
No. It was a phenomenon at the time. Like that people didn't expect it to make this much money.
Guardians.
Nope. But it destroyed because it was the first movie of its kind, basically.
Doctor Strange.
Black Panther, guys.
Ant-Man.
Black Panther.
True.
Wakanda forever.
So yeah, that's the list. So obviously a lot of these people who saw this movie had this, and I just wanted to know, do you guys have it?
I've got it today for sure. Yeah.
Dante, do you have it?
I got it.
I fucking have this thing in spades. Top to bottom, head to toe.
Non clubs.
Taste.
Taste.
It's harder to do it in person now. Timing's off because I was waiting for the delay. So Dave, I know you wanted to backtrack on some stuff we've already talked about on here and give your thoughts. So I want to give you the floor to run through a couple movies that we've already reviewed, and maybe we can chime in with some additional thoughts on them.
All right, so I got a kind of deep list here because it's been 3 or 4 weeks, I think, since I've really done a taste test here. Took a little 2-week trip over to the homeland of Ireland.
Just bragging.
Homeland.
And in doing so,
Didn't tan.
I didn't tan, and I've got 2 like 6-hour plane rides, basically to and from. So I basically watched 3 movies on each flight.
Okay.
So I watched Argyle.
Okay. We didn't review this.
So started the movie, and I thought that Amy Adams was the lead of this movie, but it was Bryce Dallas Howard. So it was a little
The
bit
other redhead.
little bit of a shock. I do love Bryce Dallas Howard,
Me too. Jurassic World, star of one of the top 10 selling
Yeah.
movies of all time.
and
Fun segue.
Sam Rockwell doesn't miss.
He's very good.
That dude is awesome,
Yeah.
in everything that he plays.
Dante, look him up.
Okay movie. I'm not gonna say that
It
it
was-
was
Yeah.
incredibly great, but like that's kind of
Yeah, people didn't seem to like it that much.
they didn't.
That was Apple TV starting to let me down.
I watched The Holdovers with Paul Giamatti.
One movie of the year, didn't it?
No.
The Oscars?
Um,
Or did
they
he win
won-
Best Actor?
They won Best Supporting Actress for Divine Joy Randolph. Was like the kind of like cook lady who stayed and watched the kid a little bit.
Didn't see it. So
Didn't really find that her performance I thought was Oscar worthy, but clearly it was. Another just like okay movie. It was pretty good. There was nothing that really stood out. There was one funny line for like right at the end of the movie, and that was kind of it. Like I made like an audible laugh in the middle of a plane ride full of people.
the good thing is that there's all that ambient noise on a plane. Everybody else is wearing headphones or sleeping anyways. That you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can. Never mind.
Third movie I watched on the first flight was the new Roadhouse.
Yeah.
Okay,
sick.
yeah, good one.
We've seen that.
The only note that I have from that movie is that Conor McGregor is not a real person.
Yeah, yeah,
That's about it.
That's fair. Yeah, yeah. He played like a very like an even more exaggerated version of himself.
It was
Which
ridiculous.
You
It
wouldn't
was a
think is
cartoon.
possible. Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a fucking
it's
cartoon.
hilarious,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
It's very funny.
And then so on the plane ride back, I watched 3 movies, but I can only remember 2 of them. I don't remember what the third one that I watched
Were
was.
you awake?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
I didn't take notes, and I was thinking about it earlier today.
You didn't
It
take an
left
edible
that
either?
small of an impact.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
The 2 movies I do remember, I watched both of the newer Ghostbuster movies.
Ah.
So the
Sorry to hear that.
Afterlife and the Frozen Throne. I
Frozen
thought-
Empire.
Frozen Empire. I thought the Afterlife was better than the Frozen Empire. In the second movie, I thought Kumail Nanjiani's role as the fire master
Mhm.
so stupid.
I thought it was funny.
I thought it was incredibly.
It was a
stupid.
bright spot in the movie for me.
Um,
In a movie that didn't have a lot for me.
I thought the hometown girl, Lucky from Afterlife, who like kind of just shows up in the second movie in like one of the labs, completely irrelevant to like both stories. And for me, I don't know if you guys know who he is, but it was really weird seeing James Acaster as a real actor.
No, know who he is?
No,
No
Dante, pull his picture up. James A. Caster. Is it James A. Period Caster?
No. He's a British comedian who's just like really dry humor and just like funny at like kind of like comebacks and
Is
stuff
that
like
Ed
that.
Sheeran?
It's not. But he played like one of the scientists in the second movie that like got his hand like frozen, like from touching the orb.
Okay.
Never seen him in an actual movie in like a real role trying to be a real person. And I mean, I thought it was cool seeing him in a movie. It was weird for sure, but
If you want to see him in another movie, he's also in Cinderella.
yeah, I'm good. All right, so that was my plane excursion. And then while I was on vacation, I also saw Twisters while I was in Liverpool.
Are European movie theaters the same as U.S. movie theaters?
No.
Okay.
So
Talk to us. Maybe
um,
this is where we go, Dante.
So the 2 theaters that I went to one in Liverpool, right in like the heart of like this mall. And then I went to another one in Galway, Ireland, in Salthill. And clean, and just like the seats are upkept and well cleaned.
So are we comparing this all to Braintree?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well,
All right. Just making sure.
I'll tell you later why I don't think I should go back to Braintree.
The seats were comfortable. They were cleaned. If anything, I would have to assume if anything ever ripped or got loose, they fixed it. You know, they maintained a level of just professionalism.
Talk to us about the important things. Was the Coke machine working?
Yep.
Okay.
Buttering station for the popcorn.
Yeah, that was my next question.
Yep.
All right. The popcorn was good?
Yep.
All right. What's sold?
They served it hot.
Yeah.
Dante will top on a flight.
They
Bro,
had
the
like
amount of times I've gotten
they had like mix and match candy bags. You could just grab what you wanted and kind of just weigh it out. It wasn't like you were spending an arm and a leg on movie snacks either. Yeah.
I like the
fairly
weigh it
priced
out,
concessions,
dude.
huh?
I like the weigh it out candy thing too. I don't normally get candy, but if I had the choice to like candy store it, I would do that.
Yeah, like just a quarter pound of Swedish fish.
Did you know that Dante didn't know what Bunch Crunch is?
When did we talk? Did you guys talk about this?
Yeah, but were you on that one,
no, I might not have been on it, but I listened to it. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You just
for
didn't
somebody
know what it was.
for somebody who goes to the movies professionally.
Professionally, I don't get paid for this.
Bunch of crunches
We
right
could,
there
though.
in your
Like,
face
comment, share,
every
and
single
subscribe.
day.
Yeah, dude, I went to the movies last week and the girls that were ordering at concessions in front of me ordered 2 things of Bunch of Crunch, and the girl had to go into the back to get it because they didn't have any out front anymore. And I was like, I can't believe Dante doesn't know what this is.
See, I'm a big fan of it, but the movie theater box of it way too expensive for how much you get.
Yeah.
I've also just never been like a huge candy person, much less like a candy at the movies kind of guy.
No.
Isn't Bunch of Crunch one of those things people pour into their popcorn?
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or snow caps.
Yeah.
You not a Mandy Moore candy girl?
I'm not a candy girl now.
No. It's Candy Girl, right? That was
It sounds right. Yeah. I was gonna say 50 Cent. I'll take you to the candy shop.
Oh, true.
No, I do not want to go there.
All right, so yeah,
On to the movie.
I saw Twisters in
Galway.
in Liverpool.
Yeah, close.
So a couple of my notes was the first tornado or twister in that movie was a serious oh shit moment, like that I loved.
Yeah.
When just those three friends just getting absolutely sucked into the
Kieran
tornado.
Shipley, dude.
Kieran
Shipley.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Um
Guy goes to fucking Ireland once. Just like, he's been there more than once.
So second note, I am absolutely in love with Daisy Edgar Jones. Absolutely.
I've been saying it, dude.
Had no idea who she was before this movie, but like I am absolutely
You get the vibe now.
dog.
Yeah.
What anything she wants to make in the future,
You need to watch
I'm
Normal
down.
People, right, Dante?
I don't think that's a Dave kind of show, but yeah,
But
sure.
you need to watch Normal People.
Okay, I don't know what that is, but sure, I'll put it
Dave,
on
you
my
got to
list.
switch
It's
up
on
your
Hulu.
genres.
It's on
Okay.
Hulu.
Okay.
Paul Mescal, Daisy Edgar Jones.
Also, didn't know who he was until this Gladiator trailer. Never
Mhm.
heard of his name.
This is why people know
Okay.
Normal People. You'll
Um,
know a lot about them.
I still think that Glenn Powell is still just okay.
You can be wrong on this take, you know.
That's fine. I think him as I think
I'll take him flipping to just okay. He
I think
hated
him as a
last time.
person, like, has in every interview is great, likable. As an actor, still not buying it. Like, I still think that he just plays relatively the same thing, like the pretty boy in every role. And then I guess the last thing is I think his character and Javi kind of have the same. It's not the exact same character flip, but they kind of have the same idea where, like, you think that he's just this you think Tyler, Glenn Powell's character, is just this cocky guy. Find out that, like, all the proceeds that he makes is going towards, like,
Good
trying
things,
to
yeah.
good things like feeding and clothing, like, families that are put out by these twisters. And then kind of Javi's character flip where, like, he's become this corporate shill, and then he just flips it around like, nah, screw it, I'm going to go help these people and help the town. And, like,
Arguably, Javi has two flips where Glenn's character has the one.
Yeah.
Tyler, right? Yeah, has the one flip.
and I just felt like Javi's landed better to me. And then I will say I'm glad that Daisy Edgar Jones's character got the basically penultimate win, and it wasn't basically helped by Glenn Powell's character.
Yeah, she
Tyler.
took everything kind of like it was because he helps her solve the problem that she hasn't been able to solve as to why.
But she's the one that has the balls to go.
Like do
take care
it.
of
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah, she has to go do it. Did you see the thing about why they don't kiss at the end of the movie?
No.
So like the original cut of that movie, they kiss in the airport at the end of the movie. And Spielberg watched the movie and gave them the note that like the movie's great, but take out the kiss. And that's why they removed it. And it was basically because they didn't want to make the characters like they didn't want to turn it into like a stereotypical like just like romantic thing for the movie by having it end with them just kissing. He felt like it was a better end to not have that happen.
I don't think it would have swayed me one way or the other.
Yeah, I
in
don't
that
think it
one.
really mattered
'Cause
that
it was
much,
a-
but I thought it was interesting that him of all people were the ones that like watched it and was like,
It was a very much go get the girl moment. Like,
Yeah.
it, it would have been fine.
Yeah.
So, all right. And then, when I was in Galway, I saw Deadpool versus Wolverine.
also a clean
so-
theater.
Very clean.
Right.
That one was jam packed though, because that was like right opening weekend. Like when I was over there, we saw it. So kind of have a lot of notes here, but it's kind of mainly just like it's not notes of the movies. It's just the standout moments. So from like kind of start to finish, the Gossip Girl line at the beginning. You know, there's like 206 bones in the body, but 207 when I'm watching Gossip Girl. Hilarious.
Do you have the
Especially-
issue I had that like they're all in high school in that movie?
Nope. Okay. It's the joke. The
You
joke.
don't
Is
Well,
have
no,
an
I know
issue
why
with
the
that?
joke's
the joke
there.
is on Blake Lively.
I know why the joke's there, but we can't cancel Dr. Disrespect and then let him get away with talking about high school girls like that.
It's Deadpool. The whole fight scene at the beginning set to bye bye bye. Fantastic. I liked when he basically breaks off the femur, smashes the guy in the crotch and then like strokes basically the crotch, the slow motion stroke. Hilarious. And then I love the scene in that where he basically takes the adamantium claws
and then puts
them on. Great shot. The close up suit change shot when he's like in the TVA, where it's a nod to Batman and Robin, where it's a close up shot of his like crotch, and then you have the Taylor guy just slapping his ass like left and right. Funny. All the different scenes searching for Wolverine, all the different like comic nods to all the different variants of him.
The comic book accurate, like short one.
Yeah.
Then
the Cavalry. Yeah. I love the 20th Century Fox that buried in the void. It was great. The whole Johnny Storm basically cameo.
The build up to his cameo was great.
It was the one cameo I think everybody that had on their list was always like at the top of their list. Like everybody thought like, hey, you're gonna have Chris Evans in this movie. It's gonna be Johnny Storm. Like, and just to kind of play on that bit. And I loved how like they made you kind of sound like it was gonna be Captain America until he says flame on.
And I think that he came out after and said that had been in the works since Free Guy, because he cameos in Free Guy, and like obviously Ryan Reynolds uses Cap's shield in that movie.
I thought when Wolverine kills Sabretooth and Deadpool picks up the head, and it's a nod to like Mad Max and Furiosa, whatever, blah blah. I thought that was funny. Paul Rudd finally aging. That was a good one.
Yeah, funny line.
Because dude's a vampire for like 50 years.
Looks the same forever.
I liked the car fight when they obviously go back and forth and stabbing each other in the car, and the audio originally starts off as The Greatest Showman, and then like they quickly like kick it and it goes into Grease, which is funny. Hugh Jackman. All the different cameos with Channing Tatum playing his like long-awaited like gambit that never happened.
Do you think it'll happen now?
No.
I think it might.
Jennifer Garner like not giving a shit about Daredevil being killed because her husband piece of shit.
Yeah. And then you're gonna bring up, I assume, Blade.
Yep.
Did you see Ryan Reynolds is now pushing for them to do like a Logan-esque Blade movie?
I did not see that.
It's interesting.
Well, that'd be nice to get a Blade movie because I don't think the Mahershala Ali one is ever going to happen.
I think we're going to get it, but yeah, I could see where you'd be hesitant to believe that.
I loved the villain to a certain extent. I thought she was like, I don't know, like evil and villainous enough, but I just don't think that there was enough plot given to her, like being like the bad guy at the very end, like trying to destroy the universes. I loved the line when she has the Juggernaut head on and she doesn't have her powers, and she's like, I'm gonna boil your brains while I flick my bean to the Enya box set. Awesome.
That hit in Europe too,
awesome.
I assume.
The whole theater was dying.
Yeah. I don't know a lot about Enya, but I feel like she's loved in Europe.
Well, so like there was 2 Enya songs in the previous Deadpool movie. Like he was so he's obviously Ryan Reynolds was a big fan of it.
Did you hear his story about getting the Madonna song?
No.
So they don't license her music out to like anybody basically. So he had to actually fly to her house and meet with her in person, and they had to show her like the early mock-up of the movie with how that they were going to use the song to get her okay. And like he said that she watched it, loved it, and she actually gave them a couple of notes on things that they could do differently, and they ended up using it in the movie. And they were like, yeah, like her notes actually like completely helped the way that scene ended up the way it did.
At the very end when it's like Wolverine and Deadpool versus the army of Deadpool on the street. In the background, it was one of the Easter eggs. It was Liefeld's Just Feet, which is a nod to Rob Liefeld, one of the Marvel comic book illustrators from like, I don't know, maybe early 90s, like 2000s. And the dude just had an absolutely horrible time drawing feet. So like they were always just like super bulky characters and like the most like undetailed, like just slivers of feet. Like it was hilarious. So it was just a comic book nod that that I caught. But there was a bunch that I'm sure I didn't. I loved the pull down of the old school Wolverine mask during that fight.
Yeah, people love that.
Yeah.
More than anything. They just released footage today of him doing the ADR. Hugh Jackman doing the ADR for that whole scene, that whole fight sequence, and it's kind of crazy to watch him. Like he's watching the movie.
What is ADR?
So it's the added audio, like
when they do like the syncing the voiceover or whatever.
Yeah, like basically in case that they want to change some dialogue, stuff like that, they put audio over the top. And yeah, it's just him basically acting out the movie in a sound room, but making all of the noises and like the grunts and like all of that. Sean Levi, the guy who made the movie, released it today, and it's kind of a fun watch to see that scene play out while he's doing the actual acting. So like when he's stabbing people, like Hugh Jackman's in the studio, like doing the motion, making the noises to go along with, and just acting out all of that scene while just doing the dialogue.
It's commitment.
Yeah,
that's sick.
And then like in that vein, one of like the final when Deadpool and Wolverine like basically spoil the plot, like spoil the villain's plot. They're holding hands to that Madonna song. Dude, Wolverine, Hugh Jackman, still got it.
No, yeah, ripped as
those
fuck,
those fucking abs, like Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
dude's
got
like
you going, huh?
Close to 60 years old.
Yeah, I mean, weren't we all going, Dante? I know I had a chub. I don't know what the 3 p.m. showing looked like, but I was basically, it started at 6 and was at midnight by the end of that scene.
I mean, Dante, you got Drake, my man. I got Hugh Jackman. All right.
Yeah,
I didn't want Drake.
Your search history says otherwise.
No,
it's not my search history.
Incognito too. So
and then just the Fox movie outtakes during the end, I thought was a cool like final touch to like this being like a Fox IP kind of thing.
Yeah, to Green Day.
Yeah,
Time of Your Life. It's fun. You didn't give us a rankings. Where do we got these?
So surprisingly enough, Twister I have at number 1 for my list for the year. And as of right now, Deadpool is number 2. Pushing for me what was Fall Guy before this down to 3.
Huh. Respectable. You mentioned Furiosa. I wanted to add one thing really quickly with the Furiosa mention. I had taken whenever I see news on Twitter, I screenshot it just in case I want to talk about it on here. I saw this today. More interesting to Dante probably. Longlegs has now outgrossed Furiosa in the movie theater.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Isn't that wild?
That's wild for like a horror movie to outgross an action movie.
Yeah, that's like how unappreciated Furiosa ended up being.
Well, I mean, that was a big conversation of ours where like Furiosa made nothing in the theater.
It was like the darkest moment of the year, I think, for movies. Was like that's early summer blockbuster, and it failed like miserably. And I think this month alone has like saved this year completely in the theater. I think things like not even just the two main ones. I don't want to retread this conversation, but yeah, something like Longlegs has being such a success, I think, has been a huge thing towards the success movies are having this year now.
I hate the idea that it's all these statistics are like obviously going to be like monitored heavily, and I think we're just going to be going into the next couple of years where there's going to be no solid movies released between like January and like June, because it's going to be on the books that like, hey, you could have an average movie release in July and outperform a great movie from March.
I think you need to make your budgeted movies appropriately, I think is more what it is. Because I think you're right. I think if you drop a huge budget film in February or March, there's a chance it's not going to make money. But if you're wise about the movies that you release and go with some of these lower budget movies that are really good quality, I think you can get word of mouth that'll get people into the theater to see them potentially. Because I think Longlegs could have performed. Longlegs isn't a summer movie, you know? I think it just performed because word of mouth was so strong that it ended up performing. And I think that you can get that at any time of the year. All right, Bailey, there's your one appearance. Yep, all right, dude. Let's chill, superstar. Okay. Any other ones? You've watched a ton.
Yeah, so I think that was about all the movies I've watched. And the other thing, I'll probably have much better review come like next week, but started watching the first episode of Batman, the Cape Crusader on new Amazon Prime show. Man, it just hits everything from the original animated series in the 90s, and I'm here for it. I definitely can't wait to sit down and binge watch the rest of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a shot, I think, as well.
Wasn't aware of that, but I might check it out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so me and Dante both have some movie reviews to get into.
Yeah.
We don't have any overlap. Did you see any other movie theater movies this week?
Yep.
All right, what'd you say?
Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Okay, so we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to add this really quick. Inside Out, in its 8th week in the theater, outdrew Harold and the Purple Crayon in its first week coming out in the movie theater in its box office performance. Which led me to want to read one other thing. So Zachary Levi, notably after Shazam, had a meltdown because it got panned so badly and didn't perform well, and was upset about it and was trying to tell people like to see his fucking movie. So he came out with a statement this week in regards to Harold. And so he put on his Instagram, "I love Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds. If you want to go see Deadpool and Wolverine, fucking go for it. I mean, I'm not going to tell you not to, but Deadpool and Wolverine is not a family movie. So if you're looking for a movie for your family or a date or whatever, or you want to get into something shing shing ring ring, go see Harold and the Purple Crayon. We are a better film, and those of you who have seen it know this." Do you think that that's true, Dante?
Or go see Inside Out too.
Yeah, like I didn't dislike this movie. I thought it was fine.
But I don't think it was
he's putting it out there.
Amazing movie. You
Yeah,
know what
he's
I mean?
putting it out there like he put out like a classic or something, and people just aren't going to see it.
Yeah.
And at some point, I think that like Zachary Levi, who I love the show Chuck. So like, I want to see this dude win. I do. I think he's a very likable actor. But the way he reacts to his movies not performing at this point, I think is a very unlikable trait. And I understand because it's like, it's his passion. It's his job. And he's now on this kind of run of things not panning out. And I think he's kind of typecast himself into having to do these roles. Like Harold's not that different than Shazam, right?
Yeah.
Like
He's
they're
kind of the
fairly,
goof, yeah.
fairly similar. And I think he's just got himself into this typecasting thing of a movie, and you're not attaching yourselves to IPs that are going to make money. So now it's like I think he's got a stink on him as far as like box office is concerned, in a way that it's like he's trying to fight his way out of it. But it's like, just stop doing these types of fucking movies. Maybe he's not getting other options. But like, I watched this movie and I knew watching it, I was like, this is not going to have legs at all, because it's not good enough that you're going to tell other people to go watch it. There was only 2 people in the theater with me, a mother and a kid.
I went at noon today.
Yeah, I went at 11:50 yesterday.
Yeah, so I went at 11:50 today. And it was actually pretty full in there.
Really?
Yeah. It was definitely a big like, hey, let's bring the kids to the movies kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'd probably say there was like anywhere from like 20 to 25 people.
Were the kids enjoying it?
Yeah, they were loving it. You know what's actually funny about my viewing of the movie is right next to it, without even knowing, I could tell that Deadpool and Wolverine was playing in the next theater over, because there were just like quiet parts of the movies where I could just hear the bass and the wall shaking.
Damn. Where?
In Braintree?
In Braintree,
Braintree?
yeah.
I don't think I've ever encountered that.
Me neither, I don't think. But yeah, that was a thing.
For the movie, like, I thought he was good.
Yeah.
I thought the kid was good. I thought Jess from New Girl, Zooey Deschanel, was a little bit of a letdown, personally.
Yeah.
I thought the movie was creative in the way that it did stuff. I thought his whole like little arc towards the end of like losing his imagination was like, I don't know, you're overreacting a bit, dude. But I get like that it's also like, it goes again to him just playing this character all the time, where he's basically just a kid in an adult's body.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, that's his character in Shazam, that's his character in this. Like, there's just no difference in the way he acts these roles out. So it just felt like I was watching like him in Shazam, but in a different movie now. Like it was weird.
I just feel like this movie lacked any real substance to it.
The villain doesn't show up for the first hour of the movie, basically, and you're supposed to be like invested into his villain arc when it's an hour and a half long movie. So you get very little like build to what the actual like antagonist is going to be to the plot of the movie. So it's a lot of just him having fun with his crayon and saying he's looking for his dad, basically, you know? And like, there's some funny bits, like there's some stuff that's like, you know, cute or funny or whatever in it. And I think for kids, it's going to hit better than it's going to hit for me, you know? So I appreciate that. Like, I think it is a good family movie. Don't get me wrong, but it's not good enough, especially to your point, like Inside Out's still in the theater. If you haven't seen that yet, like significantly better movie.
No.
Did you have any other thoughts I should ask? Because
I don't really have much to say about it. I don't know. I just thought it was very meh. I think this is more of a kids movie than a family movie too.
Yeah.
Like they snuck in some jokes there, but like for the most part, like it felt very docile.
I was confused if they were gonna make him like in the mom be like a love interest thing. Because it's like he's an adult, but like again, he's basically playing a kid. So I was like, is this weird if they are like a love interest in a way in this?
And it seemed like they were leading that way, but
I'm glad that they just didn't at the end.
Yeah.
You know? Okay. Where did you drop this on your list?
It is 2.5 stars at 32nd.
So I gave it 2.5 stars. I have it at 35. I thought it was better than Bike Riders, was basically where I dropped it.
It's right in front of Bike Riders and The Watchers for me.
So I have it behind The Watchers by a couple, but directly in front of Bike Riders.
Yeah.
Any other movie theater?
No.
Okay, so I had one other movie theater movie. I went to, actually really quick, you said you had a Braintree movie theater thing that you wanted to talk about, why you weren't going to go back?
Oh, yeah.
Was that from this movie?
Yeah, it's from this movie.
All
so
right, yeah, let's hit that real quick.
When I was leaving, I parked in the same place we always park. And I was sitting in my car, you know, getting my CarPlay and my music going. And I noticed this like Altima like weirdly like driving like in a weird circle around the parking lot. I'm like, fuck, like is somebody like learning how to drive or something? But then they like awkwardly would stop. They like got out of the car, then got back in. And come to find out, there was like an abandoned backpack in a parking spot over there. And like, you know, like nobody parks on that side. So there was no other cars around it or anything. There was just a backpack there. And I was like, well, that seems sketchy. Let me get the fuck out of here. And as I'm like coming out to come down the hill, there's 3 cop cars going up. I'm like, oh.
So do you think the backpack was a bomb or do you think it was drugs?
I think it might have been like just a suspicious bag. They didn't know what it was, so they were probably treating it like a bomb. I have no idea what it turned out to be. I didn't stick around to find out.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of weird stuff happening at that theater, man.
I'm with you. Okay, so I went to Framingham again, and I saw The Beast Within, Kit Harington movie. And so movie theater experience for me.
You'd been to the Framingham one before, no?
One other time, yeah. I saw the Mark Wahlberg movie there.
Okay.
And I enjoyed it. I like this theater a lot. I like the feeling of it. I like its location too. It feels like a nice theater.
I've considered it a few times. I just haven't gone.
They have a full kitchen. It's a movie theater where you can order food to your seat from there, and there's like a full menu basically.
Oh, it's the AMC Dine-In, yeah.
Yeah. So I show up to the movie. It's a 10:10 movie. The whole time I've been checking the seating. Nobody's bought a ticket, so I'm by myself.
10:10 at night?
Yeah. I buy a ticket. Normally we buy handicap. I actually bought a row in front because I was like, well, if nobody else is going, I'll sit a row up. Usually that's better, more centered in the theater. And I was like, maybe I'll get better audio. I get there. When I sit down, I realize that these seats are below the screen. So I was going to have to like look up basically at the screen the whole time.
One seat from the back
was below the screen. Yeah.
I get what you're saying. Never mind.
So there's a gap between handicap and then in the very back of the theater, there's 2 rows of seating. The theaters in Framingham are laid out weird. So there's 2 rows at the very back and they're sitting on elevated platforms. So I was like, all right, nobody else has bought tickets to this movie. I'm just going to grab one of those seats and I go and sit down before the movie starts. Right as the movie's beginning, just a random couple walks in. And full empty theater, of course, they sit directly behind me.
Ugh.
Like, and it's just, I was just like, oh, this is fucking weird, you know? And like, I can hear them like kind of talking a little bit. They didn't really talk during the movie, but like every move they made, I could hear it. They ordered food to their seat. So like the guy came and delivered food. I listened to them open up the packaging, eat their food, like heard them biting into their food. Like it was just like too close. And it's also like they're very clearly on like a date and I'm just sitting here like in the movie theater. Like they were going to have this theater basically to themselves, or if I was in my proper seat, they would have had space, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, it's like fucking awkward. I'm kind of ruining probably their experience a little bit. So I was in my head a little bit during that. So it was weird. I go through the whole movie, watch it. And so the Beast Within Kit Harington movie, it sells itself as a werewolf movie. So it's all about like this father who lives basically out in the woods with his wife, daughter, and the daughter's grandfather, the wife's father. And he is every once a month has to get brought out to the woods and like chained up in this like shitty like castle type thing. And he turns into a warehouse. Yeah, he turns into an Amazon warehouse. He turns into a werewolf, and like the daughter's just curious why he keeps leaving, and then he would come back like fucking bloody and like whatever, and like had to like go to his room for like 2 days every month, and she wouldn't see him. So one day she hides and she follows them out there, and sees him turn into the werewolf or whatever. And from there, like the movie, the story's like slowly building. Like nothing's fucking happening. There's not really a lot of him being a werewolf in it. But there's some scenes of him being like really shitty with an anger problems, and you're like you're left to believe it's like the werewolf like stuff coming up in him, you know. So you get to the climax of the movie where he comes back to the house as a werewolf one night and attacks the dad or the grandfather, and is going after the mother and the kid. And you basically get to this point where the kid like essentially kills the dad.
Oh,
like because he's a werewolf at the time. He's about to kill the mother, and she has to make the choice of like saving the mom and like choosing like her family over the beast. All that happens, and you basically have a moment where she's sitting like at the end of the movie, like out and like on the edge of their property with a book that he gave her. And you go through all these scenes that you've seen in the movie, and you can kind of see what's happening during the movie, like up to this point. So I had an idea what it was about, but essentially like he's not a werewolf. Like that was the imagery of what the kids made this out to be in their head, the whole movie. And in all actuality, the transformation that he goes through is he's an alcoholic, and he's drunk and an abusive father, and treats the mom and the daughter like shit. And like that was her like coping mechanism essentially, or the way that they've told the story the whole way through. So it's like all just an allegory, I guess, is what it would be for her. For his alcoholism is like the beast within him. With that being said, this movie sucked. I fucking hated it.
You just made this sound actually pretty interesting to then go to that.
No, it fucking sucked, dude. To the point where when the movie ends and I go to stand up and leave, and I'm like, let me get out of here quick because I don't want to have like an awkward moment where it's just me and these two other people. And I get up and I go to grab my shit, and the guy just is like, yo, be honest, that movie fucking sucked, right? And I was just like, for sure. And I just walked away. Yeah, it's just like so boring the whole way through. Nothing's really happening. Like Kit Harington's good in it, but like everything else kind of sucks. There's just not enough, and the spin at the end just didn't do it for me. So yeah, I don't recommend. I gave it 1.5 stars. I think it's one of the worst movies I've seen this year. I put it in at 45.
Damn.
Yeah.
What are the two behind it?
I have 3 behind.
3 behind it. I'm sorry.
I Saw the TV Glow, Tarot, ISS.
Okay.
Are all behind. So,
damn.
Yeah, that is the one movie I watched. The other movie I watched in the movie theater. I am currently watching the show Gotham.
Okay.
I'm on season 4, which I think as of right now is my favorite season of the show. It's a show I always tried to watch and I could never get into it. I would always watch like the first season and get kind of bored at some point, and I would just like give up on it. So this time I decided to just start halfway through season 2. And I just pressed play and started watching it. And like I've slowly gotten into it. And now like season 3 and season 4 I've really enjoyed. So
okay. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm a big Ben McKenzie guy. Like I grew up loving the OC.
Big
so,
OC
like,
guy.
Yeah, so like I like the character a lot. He has a lot of associations to the Batman animated franchise. He's played Batman a few times in the animated shows. Batman, and I think he's played Commissioner Gordon in animated stuff as well, possibly. But he has an attachment to that source lore, you know? So I think, again, he plays the character really, really good. He's obviously the focal point of this show. Like, you're slowly starting to see Bruce Wayne turn into Bruce Wayne, but he sucks for the first, like, 2.5 seasons of the show. I think he's terrible. He gets better, though. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. Like, I didn't think I was going to like it as much as I have, but, like, between the Penguin and the Riddler, I think, like, those two characters are super interesting throughout the whole show, and they make it fun to watch. And there's just a lot of fun character dynamics that you like to kind of see, and they slowly just trickle in more and more of these like Batman villains and give them interesting twists. And you know, at season 4 you're getting to the point where he becomes like the captain and like shit like that. So it's been fun. Anything else anybody else has watched?
Yeah, I watched a couple other things.
Okay.
I watched a movie called 50-50.
Yeah, I've seen it. It's great.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Seth Rogen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's her name?
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick. Yeah.
And Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah. It's fantastic movie.
Yeah, it's really good, although
Sad as fuck.
Yeah, it read as a rom-com, and it was definitely just more like drama, and like
It's funny.
I thought it was funny.
there's funny bits to it.
I mean,
yeah,
I saw it 15 years ago or something.
Yeah, I watch it every now and again. I think it's pretty consistently funny. It's dark. Like, it's dark humor though.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. This movie just kind of takes like a darker, sadder tone, and I expected more comedy out of it coming from Seth Rogen, but it was good, and it did have some light comic relief.
I mean, it's about a guy who has cancer.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, it read like a rom-com. It definitely tells you, I think, that like he has cancer.
Yeah.
So-
No, I get that. Yeah. I just didn't think it would lean so much on the sad side and give you more of the happy romance, but yeah.
A lot of the funniest stuff is sad, dude.
That's dark.
That's how comedy kind of works.
Yeah.
Anything else?
I also watched Love and Other Drugs.
There we go. And
Finally got to it, yeah.
Yeah.
And Hathaway tit, yes.
We talked about this a few weeks ago. I never got around to it.
Yeah.
Get to it.
It's good. It's very good, right?
It's actually really good, yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the better rom-coms out there.
Yeah.
Jake Gyllenhaal's really good in it, and she's like another one where it's sad. Like it's funny. It's lighter hearted than 50-50, but it is a sad story.
It is sad, yeah.
You know, like what she's dealing with and everything.
Yeah.
So you went through two like kind of tough ones.
I watched Love and Other Drugs first, so I ended on a pretty bad note.
Okay. Like, I mean, this one's not necessarily like her life's not great.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
his story is very funny, and I think his character arc is good, and he plays it really well, like going from like fuck boy to like normal human being.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's great in it. I thought they both were like phenomenal. It's also weird going back because like that movie came out in like 2011, I feel like.
I think so, yeah.
And it's just like I feel like I don't realize how old Anne Hathaway is at this point, but she's like so much younger in that.
Princess Diaries, man.
Yeah, exactly right. 2004 or some shit.
Hmm.
So you liked it though.
Loved it.
Good to know.
Yeah.
Did you watch it on Vudu?
No, I think I caught this one on Hulu or Prime. One of those.
Yeah, it's out there.
Just don't use my Vudu, I guess. You know.
I'll peruse through that at some point.
Okay. That's it.
That is it.
You're good.
I think that's all I got. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watched other movies and stuff, but nothing that I really feel like we need to run through. Nothing new and interesting. There's another shark movie on my list, guys.
Damn.
Now I need to know.
These people find I haven't watched it yet, but they find a shipwreck at the bottom of the ocean, and they go to explore it, and they get stuck in the ship, and there's sharks.
Is the shipwreck in the Seine River? You know?
No, not
Just
this
in
one.
France.
Not this one.
Do you have your watch list on Letterboxd?
No.
No?
No.
Damn, I can't peruse your list?
I added it on my watch list on Vudu. It's where
see.
I would buy movies if I was going to get them.
I see. Well, you know, Letterboxd is like everything I'd either want to buy or stream. It's just everything.
Yeah, I could do something like that, so that people can stay up on
Yeah.
my voyages into shark movie genre.
Yeah, you know,
That's
I
basically
really, I
all I
really
care
want to
to
know what's
find.
out there. You know.
Yeah, that's like I just look for those basically. So if you know any good ones, also I'm looking for recommendations. I'm a book reader now, listener. If Dante wants to correct me,
I was going to.
and I finished another book recently. I listened to the whole 4-book series of the 100, and now I've moved on to. I actually went to Barnes and Nobles this week, guys.
I don't even know where there is one.
Derby Street.
Okay.
And it was really just like I was looking for audiobooks. I was just like looking at books in there to try and find something that I'd want to listen to. Because I didn't want to pay $30 for a book when I can just listen to it on Spotify. But I'm looking for slasher, like horror books.
Okay.
So I'm listening to one now that's called like The Last Final Girl. And then there's like another one, I forget the name of it, but it's all about like it's like these five different final girls that are going to like therapy together. It's like group therapy for final girls, and like they're all coping with like them going through like their ordeals. And I guess the book builds up to the point, just reading the back of the cover, to a point where one of the girls gets taken, and they all have to deal with like the fact that she's gotten taken by her like attempted killer again, and they have to go and deal with like the slasher. So
Okay.
those are the
She
two I'm working on.
becomes the final girl.
Yeah, that might be the name of it. Yeah. I started listening to that one though, and here's the problem with audiobooks. If you don't like the person reading the book,
I was gonna say that's a thriller type like story that like the person giving you the emotion through reading needs to.
This one's the worst one I've had. Like normally I've liked a lot of the voice actors that I've gotten for audiobooks so far. And that's helped significantly with me being interested in the listening to them. So this one I listened to like 10 minutes and I shut it off, and that's where I found the other book that I started listening to. And I don't even love this one as much either. I haven't found one again that I truly love. So if anybody knows any good slasher books that I could get into, I'm looking for recommendations. Because I'm a reader now, bitches.
All right.
I'm not
You
just
join a book club?
I'm not one-dimensional. I am thinking about perusing Barnes and Nobles anymore, a little bit more. I think I'm going to make that a more routine trip for myself.
I'm pretty sure there's one right next to us in that mall.
Is there?
I think so.
That makes sense. I kind of want to work at a Barnes and Nobles, guys.
Do you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We don't need to dwell on that, but that's a thought. It's
Interesting.
a thought in my head. One thing I like about Barnes and Nobles, also really quick before I get off this topic.
Can you just stop saying nobles, please?
Barnes and Nobles, B&Ns.
Yep.
They put little, like the people who work there have little things at the bottom on each shelf that tell you about like a book that they're recommending, and it's like a personal,
Their own
like
little 5-star type thing.
Yeah, like little synopsis trying to tell you why you should read this book, which I thought was kind of cool because like for me not going in with any actual reason, like a book I'm looking for, kind of helped me go through some of the options.
So it's almost like a chef's choice option.
Yeah, props to them.
Way back in the day, during my like first couple of years working at Best Buy, I was like 18, 19 years old working out in the media department, and we had the ability to basically print signage for like, we could just write whatever we wanted, send it in, and then we would be shipped like the sign to like put on an end cap or something like that. And I made my own little my top 10 movies end cap.
That's sick.
And I basically set it up myself, and I just removed whatever was supposed to be there, and I had my own like TV and movie shows, and I kind of had little blurbs myself of like, hey, this is why you should watch this.
I would have loved if they still had that around.
Yeah.
We don't sell movies anymore, so fuck us. All right. We should wrap this up, huh?
Yeah.
It's been real. I've kept us trapped in this closet for far too long, Dante specifically. Those who know. If you have any thoughts on the movie Trapped, please let us know. If you were able to figure out the top 10 highest grossing movies of all time before these two idiots did, please also let me know. No offense.
Offense taken.
What did you think of the other movies, TV shows, anything else that we talked about? And also, if you have any book recommendations for me, I would greatly appreciate them. But they have to have good audiobook, like auditors. So that is important. That is a must. As always, though, could you please drop a like, comment, share, and subscribe on the video and or audio that you are listening for. We appreciate you greatly. Until next week, we bid you a fale
Peace.
Dante, you didn't add gunshots last week, so please fix that. Bang, bang.
Skeet skeet.
For those with good taste.